One woman I just talked to, her at an event, she came up afterward and she said, I actually sleep in my running clothes and I just get out and put her shoes on and goes right out the door. But you're trying to prime the environment to make the action easy. Okay. So how can you set up the spaces that you're in to prime those habits? I think one really interesting question to ask: walk into the rooms where you spend most of your time each day, your office, your living room, your bedroom, and then look around and ask yourself, what is this space designed to encourage? What behaviors are easy here? What behaviors are obvious here? And the good habits that you say you want to build, are those the path of least resistance? Is that the obvious thing in this environment? And if not, maybe you can make some adjustments to try to make the good habit easier and the distractions maybe a little bit harder. So that's first thing, prime the environment to make the action easy. Second thing is, if there's like one principle that is probably the single most important for building habits, it's make it easy. Just scale it down and make it easy. I refer to it sometimes as the 2-minute rule. So take whatever habit you're trying to work on, you scale it down to something that takes 2 minutes or less to do. So read 30 books a year becomes read 1 page, or do yoga 4 days a week becomes take out my yoga mat. Sometimes I will mention this to people and they resist it a little bit. They're like, okay, buddy, like, I know the real goal isn't just to take my yoga mat out. No, I'm actually trying to do the workout. So it's some kind of mental trick and I know it's a trick, then why would I fall for it, basically? But there's this guy, I mentioned him in Atomic Habits, his name's Mitch. And he went to the gym, and for the first 6 weeks, he had this strange little rule for himself where he wasn't allowed to stay for longer than 5 minutes. So he'd get in the car, drive to the gym, get out, do half an exercise, get back in the car, drive home. And you're like, this sounds silly, right? Clearly, this is not going to get the guy the results that he wants. But what you realize is that he was mastering the art of showing up, right? He was becoming the type of person that went to the gym 4 days a week, even if it was only for 5 minutes. And so I think this is kind of a deep truth about habits, which is a habit must be established before it can be improved. It has to become the standard in your life before you optimize and scale it up into something more. There's that quote from Ed Lattimore where he says, the heaviest weight at the gym is the front door. There are a lot of things in life that are like that. And so by trying to make it easy to master, easy to get started, then you're in the game. Now you're in the arena. There's all kinds of things you can improve from there.
I remember Jordan Peterson talking about some of his clinical patients and referring to one in particular who was in a room full of junk and couldn't leave the room because of a certain fear and certain psychological problems he had. And Jordan saying that day 1, they just brought the Hoover into the room and that was it. Day 2, they plugged the Hoover in and that was it. And then by day 30, the guy is out of the room is clean, and he's walking around outside for the first time in months or years. And he goes on to say that the reason why people don't get started is because the first step is so embarrassing. People think that it's not worth it, or that it's like shameful to do. It's like almost like patronizingly embarrassing. And I've always kept that in mind since then. And from your work as well, just that assume the first steps are like embarrassingly small.